All right, what's going on? Ricardo Hamilton, Crypto Rick, M.I.M.S, constantly, continuously, consistently building wealth in precious metals. All right, precious metal assets and cryptocurrency. What's going on, man? I swear, every day you wake up, I'm like, what's next? What's new? It really is something going on every single day that you wake up. There's something going on in the news, something going on in the market, something going on around the world. And you won't know about it unless somebody tells you. And you especially won't know about it if all you're doing is following and listening to mainstream media. So I want to make sure that I want to be a voice out here to continue to bring the alarm about what's going on in this financial system and some of the things that you should be doing to hedge and protect yourself against the impending crisis. This is a crisis unprecedented. Never before have we ever been in this time period. In this time period, have we ever been in a situation like this around the world? So I want to get into some articles, really kind of just saying the same thing that we have been telling people for quite some time now. All right. And this article is from Watch a Guru. If you guys are not subscribed to Watch a Guru or check them out, they put out great information. Okay. Great information on the markets and what's going on around the world. And I got this article today here. They're talking about Bank of America issues a warning of a US dollar collapse. Okay. Bank of America issues a warning of a US dollar collapse. Folks, this is not fear porn. Okay, I do hope you understand that this is not something that's fear porn, that is, oh, they're just saying this stuff and putting this out there, and that, the dollar is going to be around forever. It's going to have value forever. The world is going to use the dollar forever. And you believe that this doesn't affect you. Folks, this information, this stuff that's going on around the world and its financial system affects you more than you realize. And you probably are realizing it now more than ever because the dollar is losing more and more of its purchasing power, and your status of living is getting harder to maintain. The projections that you have on your ability to have and sustain a better quality of living are getting darker. Okay. And that trend is going to get worse for a lot of people if they don't do certain things. Okay. Moving forward. And so in this article, we have, they're talking about the U.S. national debt is now growing by $1 trillion every 100 days since 2023. I want you to really think about that. Every 100 days, okay, every 100 days, the U.S. national debt is growing by $1 trillion, okay? This is something that is totally unsustainable, that the rest of the world sees as a problem, and the rest of the world knows it's a problem, and the rest of the world is doing something to hedge against this problem. And you should be doing something too. You should not just be looking at this information and saying, oh wow, that's interesting, and just going back to work and living your normal life and acting like everything is going to be fine, because you're going to be in for a rude awakening if you do not understand the world that you live in, how it came about, and where it's going. Okay. So $1 trillion every single day since 2023, the uncontrollable debt could lead to a financial disaster, wreaking havoc not only in the US, but across the world. Okay. BRICS and other developing countries are worried that the US dollar debt could make their native economies crash. Keeping the US dollar and reserves is now seen as a threat that could undo years of financial stability. Folks, this is not like a theory. This is not only is it a fact, but these countries are actually doing just that. They are de-dollarizing. Okay, they realize the threat that the dollar has and their previous reliance on the dollar. Okay, and how that affects their economy and the quality of standard for their people and their ability to grow, right? And so what we're seeing is that BRICS, Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, and other countries, all right, are dumping treasuries. They're buying gold. They're actually releasing their own digital payment system that is using blockchain and cryptocurrency. You have to get ahead of this curve, okay? You cannot wait until the national emergency alert system broadcast system goes off, and then that's when you start to figure out maybe I need to prepare and get my house in order. You need to do it now because 2024 is the reset. I don't have the 2024 hat on for a reason, for no reason, okay? 2024, we are living and witnessing a reset in the monetary system, a reset in the global shift of power. That's why we see everything that's going on. It's so important that you conceptualize that. Sure, go about your day and do what you do, but know that we are in an impending time where the way you live now is totally going to be opposite, okay, as we move forward. And if you don't do something different, you're going to get wiped out, okay? I hope you do not have a normalcy bias. I hope you don't have a complacency bias. I hope you don't suffer from cognitive dissonance when hearing information like this that challenges your worldview, your zeitgeist of how you think things are going, because maybe you're not personally impacted by it, but trust me, everybody around the world is going to be affected by the collapse of the US dollar, okay? And quite frankly, the dollar has been collapsing since the inception of it. Since 1913, the dollar has lost purchasing power. That's why we went off the gold standard in 1971, because countries realized that the United States was printing more paper money than they had in actual gold, okay? But let's continue. The U.S. national debt increases by $1 trillion every 100 days. The U.S. national debt now touched a new high of 34.4 trillion. 34.4 trillion, and is barely under control. Elected representatives at Capitol Hill and officials from the Federal Reserve are unable to tame the ever-growing debt. Folks, it was never designed. It was never designed to tame the debt. The debt was never designed to be tamed, okay? This was set up from the beginning. When the Federal Reserve was put in place, right? When the Federal Reserve got set up in 1913, okay, they knew the outcome of a central bank, okay, and what it would do to the standard of living, okay, and how it would slowly siphon and confiscate wealth from the American people here. The central bank is the worst thing that could ever happen here in the United States. We were better off going to war. This is what some of the founding fathers have said. The central bank is the worst thing that we can have, and that's what we have today, and that's why we're in the problems that we have today. Understand something, that public enemy number one, the public's enemy, number one enemy is the Federal Reserve. Jerome Powell, the Federal Reserve, central banks, this is public enemy number one. Their whole existence, okay, is to siphon and suck and confiscate and extract wealth from us, from the people, and bring it to the few, okay? So people really need to understand that, because you are operating and functioning and relying on their product, which is debt, which is fiat currency, which is that US dollar, right? But everybody else around the world is waking up to this, and they're buying gold. So amongst the economic turbulence, Bank of America has issued a warning about a possible US dollar collapse. Moreover, this allows BRICS to spread the de-dollarization initiative across the world, and more and more. And to know that, you know, how many sectors in the U.S. would be affected by BRICS ditching the dollar for trade? A decline in the U.S. dollar allows BRICS to lead other developing countries into de-dollarization. Okay, so de-dollarization is real. Okay, it is real, and you have to do what they do, not do what they say. Okay, when you go to the bank, they're going to say, you know, take a CD, you know, get an annuity. They'll tell you to get some stocks, right? But one of the things that one of the biggest banks, JP Morgan, has done and is doing is buying more gold and silver than they ever have in any time period in history. Central banks as well. In fact, JP Morgan sitting on over 600 million ounces of silver, right? That's a clue. That's a clue, right? So BRICS growing debt risk exposure of the U.S. banking collapse, warns Bank of America. I'm going to get to another article here I want to pull up, because this happened today. Okay, because if you caught my last show, and if you guys just paying attention to what's going on, you know we had a banking crisis. Okay, Silicon Valley Bank and other banks were collapsing in 2023, and that is continuing. That trend, okay, is continuing in 2024. So much so that we now have the NYCB. Okay, let me pull this up for you. They had to halt trading today. Okay, because New York Community Bank trading halted after a 42% stock crash. Okay, so once again, we're getting that same feeling like 2008. Okay, same feeling like 2008, where we're starting to have this trickle effect, banks starting to collapse, and then the contagion effect, right? And it gets bigger and bigger. And then you know who they're going to look to bail them out. You know they're going to look to the Fed to bail them out. But one thing that I've talked about before is bail-ins. Okay, they will come after your checking account, your safety deposit box, your savings account. They will come after it. They've already passed the laws. Okay, because they need that liquidity, they need them assets, they need that money to cover the Basel III requirements. Okay, you know, these banks, they don't have your money. They don't have your money. So here we go. Trading. Let me see here. Let me make sure. Okay, awesome. Yep. Trading for New York Community Bank stock halted Wednesday following the stock crashing by 42%. Okay, 42%. According to the Wall Street Journal, NYCB is searching for outside investors to offer cash to handle the bank's balance sheet. I remember this. This is too big to fail. You know, this is 2008 all over again. Okay, the shares of the NYCB were halted several times on Wednesday during the crash and are now down over 40% today alone. The stock was trading over $10 at the start of 2024 and now sits below $2 per share. Okay, 2024 has been a tumultuous year thus far for NYCB. The bank revealed in late June that it was raising the allowance for potential loan losses on its balance sheet. Furthermore, Moody's investors has dropped the banking credit rating to junk status. Junk status. That's what all these banks are, quite frankly. They're all junk. They don't have your money. Okay? They don't have it. You can't trust them. You don't need them. We have blockchain now. You know, we have other resources and mechanisms for us to be able to conduct legitimate, transparent, you know, honest money system. And we're seeing the collapse. You're seeing the end of the banking era, of this banking system, right? This debt-based fiat banking system. And so information like this is people are seeing this, you know, and we talk about the markets and everything else. The market is overvalued. It's rigged and manipulated. You know, it's all propped up off of cheap, easy money that the Federal Reserve has been given to these banks, and they're being selective about which companies they're propping up, you know, which sectors of the economy they're propping up. But it's not real. It's not real. In fact, I went to the mall today. Okay, I went to the mall today and I saw at least 4 or 5 shops closed, and some of them saying, you know, going out of sale, you know, blowout sale, you know, closing out, you know, shutting down our doors, you know, discounts right in the local mall here. A lot of stores that have been there. I mean, probably a couple months ago, I saw them there. Now they're closed, boarded up windows, everything else. I don't know if you guys are seeing this when you walk around, but I'm seeing major retail apocalypse as well still taking place, with more and more businesses shutting down. Okay. The other thing I want to get into here, just to give you guys the news, because so much stuff goes on, a lot of people don't have time and don't really even follow or get this information. Okay. That's why it's important that you share this out. You know, you share out this information so people can at least hear what they might not have heard, see what they might not have seen, and maybe that will give them the ability, you know what I'm saying, to actually do something that they need to do, like get precious metals, physical silver, physical gold, and get into blockchain and cryptocurrency, right? This is, let me pull this up. I want to pull up this article from them as well. Okay, all this happening, you know, today. All this kind of news is coming out today, right? So here we have Arizona. All right. So for those who are wondering, and I meant to put up the other piece, they're buying so much Bitcoin right now, you have no idea. BlackRock is buying 13,000 Bitcoin a day. Okay, something crazy. They spending almost $1 billion a day or something, something crazy getting Bitcoin, okay, out of the ETF. All right. And there's only 900 Bitcoin, all right, being produced a day. If you understand the law of supply and demand, this is why we can easily see Bitcoin going to $200,000, $300,000 per coin. Yes, it's going there. I'm telling you right now. Bitcoin, you will see a $200,000, $300,000 Bitcoin. It's almost at this point, it seems like an inevitability, quite frankly. It almost seems like an inevitability at this point, okay? While at the same time, Bitcoin's hitting all-time highs, so is gold, and we're going to talk about that as well. But here we have the Arizona state senators consider adding Bitcoin ETFs to retirement portfolios, okay? When I read that, I was like, duh, it's about time. They better. Hopefully it passes for those people, okay? Because the stock market is going to crash, and the only type of real gains and growth that is going to be seen here is if people who are exposed to the technological revolution that's taking place with AI and robotics and blockchain and crypto. But you guys are seeing what Bitcoin is doing. That's partially because the ETFs opened up here. But the state senate in Arizona is now considering adding the spot Bitcoin ETF as an option in retirement portfolios. Okay. Per records of the new bill, the proposal aims to encourage the Arizona state retirement system and the public safety personnel retirement system to look into adding the option to these types of investment portfolios soon. Okay. I think this is going to be a great idea for that portfolio. And for those people who rely on that portfolio for their retirement, okay? Because one thing that people should have learned in 2008 is when the market crashed, everything went down. Stocks, bonds, ETF, mutual funds, you name it. Everything went down in 2008. But gold and silver did well. And I'm telling you, during this next crisis that we are witnessing right now, as the collapse really accelerates, you're going to see Bitcoin do very, very, very well. Okay, so you want to have exposure, and for that, those retirement accounts that have exposure to Bitcoin ETFs, they're going to be better off than those that don't. Okay, for your own personal retirement account, you might want to go and get that self-directed, okay, and turn that into some gold. Okay, these are some serious time. The proposal was approved by the Senate's third reading in a 16-13 vote. Now the House will review the bill for the second time. The latest proposal explained the growth of Bitcoin ETFs as a new asset. Additionally, it emphasizes the importance of monitoring them moving forward as potential asset for retirees. Okay. At this point, if you want to retire, you need exposure to blockchain and you need to have precious metals. Okay. Physical silver and gold. If you don't hold it, you don't own it. Cryptocurrency, I don't get into the ETFs. I just buy Bitcoin and hold it myself. I want to eliminate third-party counter risk as much as possible, right? And so that's what most people should do as well is, not your keys, not your crypto, right? So it says, furthermore, as the recent boom in Bitcoin shows, ETFs should be a promising area of growth for the systems to explore in the Arizona retirement portfolio. Okay, so this is just some of the news that I caught today, along with just BlackRock and all these major institutions buying up a whole lot of Bitcoin. Bitcoin is just going to explode here, and that's going to just do well for, it's like when Bitcoin rises, all the other altcoins generally rise as well. I mean, people are seeing the meme coins pumping and everything else. So it's important that, you get exposure to these assets and you really start to take your time, even if you're a risk adverse person. For those who are really risk adverse, I'm telling you right now, this is the best asset. Physical silver and gold. Okay. I'm telling you right now, and we have the best place to get physical silver and gold. You can get it delivered to your home. You can have it stored in a military grade security vaults. Okay. And the best thing about the companies that we're using is that you're literally going to be able to get precious metals without overpaying. No premiums, no markups. Okay. That's something that's revolutionary when it comes to precious metals, because a lot of companies are overcharging. Okay. So we have the ability to help you get precious metals without any markups. You know, no premiums. You're going to pay the best price. And I get excited about that because that's a lot of value, especially for people who realize they need gold and silver, and who want to get gold and silver, who have been getting gold and silver, but now being able to get more of it and get it at a cheaper price, right? So speaking of that, let me pull up here. Let's go and see the infinite market cap really quickly. Okay. Let's pull this up really quick. Infinite market cap. So you guys can check this out. This is where over 18,000 assets that are ranked by market cap. So the number one asset in the world, okay, is physical, was gold, right? It's gold. We want it physical, but the number one asset is gold. And gold is just ripping right now. Partially because of inflation fears, okay? The Federal Reserve does not have the inflation under control. Gold and silver are hedged against inflation. How do you hedge against the inflation? Right here. Gold and silver, precious metals. How do you hedge against financial crisis and a banking collapse? Right here. Physical gold, silver, right? And here we have gold. Understand some all-time highs. There's so much going on in the news that this is not making as much noise as I expected to. Really, but gold literally breaking out all-time highs here. $2,148 an ounce. Matter of fact, let me refresh the screen. Might be up or down a little bit. Let's see. Nope, $2,152 per ounce. Okay, and understand something about this. This is an undervalued price for gold, even though it's at its all-time high. Okay, because gold is going much higher. Okay. So in the last 7 days, gold is up 5.34%. Okay. Another asset that we look at, of course, down here you see is silver. We talk about physical silver. Physical silver is going to melt faces as this asset starts to correct to fair value. This market of precious metals is the most rigged and manipulated market. Central banks, JP Morgan, their traders, they've went to jail. They've been fined hundreds of millions of dollars for rigging this market. They have been keeping and suppressing the price of these assets down. But I get excited because that allows me to buy more of it at a cheaper price. Okay. You want to get as much of this as you can. Real money, God's money, constitutional money, money all around the world. Okay. Money since the times of Egypt. Gold and silver, zero third-party counter risk. All right. Tier one asset, zero risk associated to it. This is what we're talking about. Silver up 8.65% in the last week, touching $24.38. Man, it's going to be a time where, people are going to wish, and they could have wished that they had started accumulating physical silver at these prices. Okay, silver still 50% off from its all-time high of $50. Massive rigging and manipulation, trillions upon trillions of dollars being printed, fraud and everything else, and they've kept silver below 50% from its all-time high. Silver is going to break out. These are the assets that you want to hold. And of course, Bitcoin coming in at number 9, up 11% for the week, 11.7% in the last 7 days with a market cap of 1.3 trillion. I can see Bitcoin overtaking the silver market cap here very soon. Obviously, you can see it's not too far from market cap. But I'm going to tell you right now, the top 3 assets that you need to be holding, physical silver, number 1, okay, in my opinion, as far as a physical asset. Bitcoin, number 1 in regards to digital assets. And then I would say number 2, obviously, would be gold as a physical side. And on the digital side, I'm very bullish on XRP. I believe that when the system switches over, which we're seeing with BRICS and everything else, this is what XRP and Ripple is supposed to be used for. Okay. Do not get caught up by the price movement and say, oh, it hasn't moved and all this and that. Understand the value. We have another saying. We say, know what you hold. Okay. When you know what you're holding, you don't worry about the price because you know the value. So you want to get as much of it as you can, because you know eventually the real price discovery of these assets will be realized. The real value will reflect in the price. But in the meantime, we celebrate as long as we can get these assets at these massively undervalued prices. And you should too. Okay, you should too, because it's not going to stay here forever. These prices for gold and silver are not going to stay here forever. You want to make sure that you're getting them now physically. So reach out to me or reach out to whoever shared this video with you. Okay, reach out to me or reach out to whoever shared this video with you. More than likely, they're in position to help you get precious metals, and you can get it delivered to your home. No minimums, no maximums. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you have cryptocurrency, USDT, and you want to convert your profits or your crypto into physical silver and gold, platinum, palladium, you have the ability to. Okay, and one of the most biggest parts about the companies that we're sharing is that no premiums, no markups. Okay, the best price. There is no company on the planet that's going to have a better price for precious metals than the companies that we're sharing with you with. So make sure you reach back out to us, to me, whoever shared this video with you, because in closing, this is what we're moving into. And I know you guys, if you follow the usdebtclock.org, the usdebtclock.org, obviously we know gives us the stats and the numbers on the U.S. national debt and everything else. But they've relatively recently been coming out with these secret windows and these graphics explaining visually where we are and where we're going. And really, we are in the great jubilee, the great reset. Okay, this is the death. We are living in the death. You know, so some people say it's the end. We're in the end times. We're in the end. Nothing ends. It just continues. It begins anew. We are in the beginning. But like any growth process, there will be triumph. There will be struggle. You know, there will be ups and downs. And so we're entering a new era, okay? A wealth-based monetary system dealing with gold, silver, copper, natural gas, oil, markets, commodities, agriculture, real estate, energy. We're coming back to an economy that's based off of resources. That's where the wealth is. The wealth is not credit. The wealth is not debt. The wealth is not fiat currency, them printing paper. That was an illusion of wealth, okay? So we're in this great reset. I hope you understand the times that we're in. You know, I say it all the time, we're living in the most significant time period in history, okay? This is the time period you're living in right now is more important than any time period you've ever read about in any book, okay? You are awake, you are alive, you are living in the most significant time period in history. 100 years, 200, 500 years from now, people will be talking about, reading about, studying, and learning about this time that you actually happen to be living in. And your future generations will either be wealthy as hell and excited and have your picture over the fireplace, okay? A great, great, great grandma or grandpa, whoever, because they was building wealth and assets. They was awake in a time of chaos and darkness. They were awake during the end time. They saw the beginning of an opportunity and they decided to choose to be free, to be wealthy, and to get ahead. And this is what I get excited about because I see it. A lot of people see it. It's as clear as day. And so I hope that, you know, you guys don't take this information lightly. We're seeing things accelerate faster than ever. When you see gold breaking out, there's a lot of stuff still going on with the war, okay, in Israel and everything else. And same thing with Ukraine. There's a lot going on, obviously, behind the scenes that most people don't know about and that we aren't privy to. There's also a lot of distractions going on, okay? So you just want to stay vigilant. You know, you just want to do the best you can, you know, and the best thing that you can do, in my opinion, is be informed, okay? Information is power, all right? Being informed allows you to be able to utilize your discernment, you know, utilize your critical thinking factors, right? utilize and get in touch with yourself so you can know what it is that you need to do, because everybody is in different positions in life. Everybody has different circumstances. They're in a different environment. But the more information you get, okay, the better you will be able to navigate, all right, and be able to decide, is this something I need to do? Is this a real threat? Is there a real opportunity here? Is there a real crisis? What's going on? You will start to attract, okay, the information. You will start to attract the right people. You will start to accumulate the right assets. You will start to do the right things with your money, okay? It's just so important. I hope that, you know, you're not just assuming that everything is just going to be fine. Like this is 2008 and, you know, they'll figure it out and everything's going to be sweet. I'm telling you, this is not 2008. This is way worse than 2008. This is something the world has never seen before. So make sure that you get back to the person that shared this video with you. Make sure you reach out to me. We can help you get some physical gold and silver delivered, have it stored. You know, you have some options. We're doing some phenomenal things in blockchain and cryptocurrency and DeFi right now. Same thing with nodes. Last night, I just bought me some nodes that I'm telling you probably going to be just as big as Gala nodes. We're doing some phenomenal things. Get inside the Runners app. You see that going down at the bottom of the screen, onewithrick.com. We're going to be putting some more stuff in there, some more updates and details. But with that being said, I'm going to catch y'all on the next live stream. Ricardo Hamilton, Crypto Rick M.I.M.S, constantly, continuously, consistently building wealth in precious metal assets and cryptocurrency. Everybody be safe, be blessed. I'll catch you on the next live stream. I'm out. Peace.